Hey everyone, I'm Ms. Milkowski, the mathematician, and today we are going to talk about rewriting a radical expression in exponential form. Okay, so here we have the cube root of 5x raised to the second power, okay? So cube root of 5x squared, okay? So how are we going to rewrite that in exponential form? Well, you probably remember from class that the nth root of a to the m equals a to the m over n. And so we are going to use that to help us change this from this radical expression, or put this radical expression in exponential form. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to suggest is that you use colors. And if you are one of my undergrads and you're watching this, this is why I always say use colors, and I always write it on the observations and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do red, green, and blue. Okay. So let's start off with red. So let's start off here with A, okay? So A is going to be what's underneath the radical sign, okay, the radicand, and that's going to be 5x, okay? So we will write that A equals 5x. Perfect. Let's go to N next. So N is the index right here. So right here is our index, and in this case, N equals 3. And then finally, what are we raising it to? That's going to be M over here. And in that case, it's 2. Okay, perfect. So all we're going to do is then bring that over here. So we're going to rewrite it as A, which is in red, okay, to the M, which is in green, over N, which is in blue. All right? So I will write that over here again, just because I love colors so much. It's so helpful. All right, so A to the M over N. All right, so what's our A? Let's do that first. Well, A is 5x, so we're just going to write 5x. Awesome. Now, we are raising that to the M over N, and so this is super duper 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 important, okay? If it's something like 5 times x, or, you know, could be x plus 3, it could be anything under there, okay? What you need to do is you need to put parentheses around it, okay? Because if you don't put parentheses around it, this exponent will only be applied to the second part, okay? Or the last, I should say the last part, okay? So we need to put parentheses around it so that we're saying we're raising this whole thing to the, in this case, 2 over 3, and not just x to the 2 over 3. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay, so then it's going to be m, which is 2, over, and then n, which is 3. Perfect. All right. So this is going to be our answer. I'll do that in a different color. Whoops. Okay, perfect. So this is going to be our answer. I will box it, okay? So the third root of 5x squared is just 5x to the 2/3 in exponential form. All right, now here's what I was saying before. So let's say I am just going to keep it just with one color so I can show you the difference. So this was the answer, 5x, okay, to the 2/3. All right, if we had written it as just 5x to the 2/3, okay, that would actually be this, 5 times the third root of x squared, okay? The 5 wouldn't be under there, okay? And we want the 5 under there. So in order to do that, we have to put parentheses around the whole thing. So you need to make sure you put parentheses around this whole thing. I'm not even kidding. All the time when I used to be in that regular classroom, I would see students forget the parentheses, okay? And you don't want to forget that, because then you're not taking the whole thing and raising it to the 2/3. You're just taking this piece and raising it to the 2/3 if you don't apply them. So this is not okay. This is what we want. All right. So now I'm going to show you one other way to do it. Okay? So let's say you're sitting here and you forget this. You don't know what this is. You don't remember it from class, and you're racking your brain and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So you start off with the third root of 5x, okay, and you're raising it to the second power. And you say, Well, you know what? I don't remember that, but something that I do remember is I do remember this one thing. And I do remember that the nth root of a equals a to the 1 over n, okay? So if you remember just that one thing, okay, then you can say, all right, well, let me take, okay, this inside part and rewrite that like this. So then I'm going to say, okay, well, that is 5x, okay, to the, and then 1 over 3. All right, now remember, don't forget the parentheses. Don't forget the parentheses. Perfect. And then what am I doing with this whole thing that I just rewrote? Well, I'm raising it to the second power. So then I'm going to come out here and just raise it to the second power, okay? So now what do? Well, you remember when you have something and you're raising it to, like, you might remember this rule, okay? So a to the n, or let's say to the m, a to the m to the n equals a to the m times n. So you're going to apply that same thing here, okay? So that means 5x to the 1/3 to the second is the same as 5x to the 1/3 times 2, okay? So we will do that over here. I'll stay in green here. I'm running out of room, but I think we'll be okay. So that's just going to be 5x to the 1/3 times 2. We all know that 1/3 times 2 is 2/3, so that's just going to equal 5x to the 2/3. Perfect. So there's another way to do it. If you don't remember this, you can do it. Now you're still going to have to remember some exponent rules, but it's, you know, it's better, it's fewer in my opinion than this way. However, usually with enough practice, this becomes super easy and you remember what it is. But there you go. So there's two ways to rewrite a radical expression in exponential form. Hey everyone, I'm Ms. Milkowski, the mathematician, and I hope you found that last video helpful. If you have any questions or if there are any topics you'd like to see me cover in future videos, definitely let me know in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm going to leave you with the most important piece of advice I can give you, which is when you're doing mathematics, always ask why.